Hi, and welcome to Settled. Today, we're going to talk about a feature that is not unique to the website, or I should say, is not the website or a feature on the website, so to speak. But we're going to talk about how you use a feature on the website specific to individual browsers. Specifically, what do we do when it comes time to want to save a password so when you log in, you won't need to come back and do it again? So if we're on the login screen for Settled, you have the ability to click Remember Me, and it will remember your password for future login. If for some reason it does not, we're going to need to configure your browser. So I have picked three browsers that I'm going to show you how to do that on today. The first is Firefox, the second is Safari, and the third is Chrome. Any other browser that you may use, there is going to be a similar feature to go through to do this. But on Firefox, for instance, you would come up to your top menu and go to Preferences. You would come to Security and you look at Logins, and you want to make sure that this box, Remember Logins for Site, is locked in. You can also look and see any sites. There are no sites saved password-wise for this site, for this browser that I'm using, but any that you had stored would be there, and you could manage them from there. So from Safari, you go to the Preferences, you come over to Security, and you just make sure that everything is configured appropriately there. On Safari, what we do is we come through, and again, you'd make sure that the box is checked, but you also want to make sure that you go to Preferences, and you'd enter in your master password, and you go over two passwords here in this menu, and it's going to show you the websites that you have passwords saved for. If you want to add another site, you can come through and you can do that, to put that in there to add an additional site. So make sure it's clicked, go to Preferences, select Passwords, put in your master password for your Safari browser, and then just make sure that's configured appropriately. Finally, for Google, what we would do is the same thing. Again, put in your name, email, put in your password, make sure that Remember Me is checked. For Chrome, Google Chrome, go over to Preferences. Then what you're going to do is in Settings, type passwords, or just even password, and you'll come down here. Enable autofill to fill out forms in a single click. You can manage those, but you can also offer to save your web passwords by going to the Manage Passwords, and you can put in the ones that you want to save or sites that you would never save, and you'd simply save it here. So you'd add Settled, come in and click here to square that away to make sure you were finished. So that is how on three different browsers you were able to come in and configure to save your passwords. If there's another one, say Internet Explorer, I'd suggest just doing an Internet Explorer password save. And here's the instructions to walk through to turn that on. So you may have to configure your browser, but every browser you should be able to save your password. We have Settled set up to allow it whatever browser you're using to work through and be configured with. As always, thank you for using Settled. If you have any questions, any thoughts, any comments, please email us at support or info@settled.com. Thanks and have a great day.